They say when hell is full, the dead walk the earth. As the last human survivor, zombie apocalypse, I can tell you, it's true. I have watched every friend, every family member, every person I've ever loved be devoured alive. But even worse, some of them get turned into these monsters, endlessly feasting, never sated, shambling towards their next meal. I record this with hopes that someone finds this so they know tonight is a night of another Spooktober special of Banter and Such.
Hey, welcome to Banter and Such. I'm Brando.
And I'm Owen.
And today we are talking about zombie
brains. And today we have one of our favorite guests we ever have on, the gore horror queen herself, Lexi Reddy.
Oh my goodness, you spoil me. Hello, fellas. Missed yous. I look forward to this.
Woo! All right, let's get into some BS.
So today, before we start getting into zombie movies, we got a couple things we want to give you guys a heads up on.
First of all, I want to let you know about our amazing merch at theheliosnetwork.com. We have Wasted Truth shirts, Banter and Such stickers, Owen and Brando pins, which if you've heard me talk about this before, you know that's my fave. And they come in a pair, don't they?
Yes, they do.
We don't sell them individually. Nope. These two
No.
come in a pair. They
They
always
do,
together. Oh.
Like a ball sack.
Just like Brando and I.
Owen and Brando pins in a scrotum.
Yep. It's hairy. It's not waxed.
It's at theheliosnetwork.com, and we got more stuff coming soon.
Also, if you'd like to support the show, check out our Patreon. It also helps with our Twisted Tea habits because that's what we're drinking today. The link is in the show note descriptions. Our Patreon's great. It allows you to support us to keep doing what we're doing. And as well, Brando and I have stated that any money that comes into the Banter and Such Patreon goes towards the Helios Network as a whole.
Woo!
And the only way you get to listen to more of Brando and I every single week is by subscribing to our Patreon. We have an episode we do every week called Bonus Banter.
That bony banty.
That bony banty, baby.
Oh,
It's
grows your boner, Banty.
100%. It's about an extra 20, 30 minutes of whatever the topic is, or we talk about something else. But it's usually pointed. I don't know. It's fun. Check it out.
All right, now we're ready to jump in and talk about zombie movies. So we've been doing Spooktober Special. This is our third episode of Spooktober Special. And going through all of the big monsters, like the
core four.
Yeah. Like, well, when you think of it, zombie naturally came to mind. But when I started looking into it, like zombies as a monster, like as we know them today, are relatively new. Like there's always been the undead.
Yeah.
But
we could do a Spooktober special like all month long, and every single week it would be a different type of zombie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
But when you're talking about like what we think of as zombies today, like shambling and or like bite, and then you get infected and all that,
big bite.
that's like they're like a new monster on the scene.
100%. But before we get into that, Lexi, show us your receipts. Why are you on today's episode of Banter and Such?
I have rotting flesh on my face.
So do I.
Yeah.
Brando? So you're looking a little grim.
Okay. Everyone has to check out our Instagram because you two have legit gore on your face.
Yeah, shout out Hope. Thank you, sister.
Hope,
and clutch.
Yes. She made you guys look legitimate. Like Owen looks like he got in a car accident. Like Lexi, you look like you're back from the dead. I, on the other hand, My
You're
daughter's doing my
Mrs. Cherry.
makeup.
You're
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead 1978 style. We're more like Zombieland 20 whatever. Like
I'm
70.
indie
Yeah.
film zombie.
Yeah.
Like the 60s.
You're George A. Romero zombie, and we're like Walking Dead zombies.
There you go. There
Yeah.
you go. It looks great. So check out our Instagram because we're going to put up pictures and stuff. So.
Yeah, we were talking with Lexi because I mean, how can we do a Spooktober without
Oh,
Lexi?
yeah.
I mean, every single time. Like you are our horror
No, you're
queen.
absolutely correct.
Yeah.
You cannot.
No.
You will not live
Yeah.
to see the day.
Well, it was like 50% like, oh, we're going to have Lexi on for a Spooktober episode. And the other 50% was like, if we don't, I'm kind of afraid of what would happen. I'm concerned.
If tomorrow you do not hear from me, I am telling you, Lexi Redding did it.
Allegedly.
But honestly, like we were talking with her about it, and she's like, "We're doing zombies."
Well, yeah, because it was more a matter of what episode was I coming on, not
Yeah.
like if she was coming.
Yeah.
Because she's usually not coming, but it's just kidding.
But,
Any-
Or is it more? Or is it more this? Oh,
Oh, come on. But yeah, zombies are cool, and it's really crazy because as much as I love zombies, I tend to feel bad for them. You know,
Oh,
my
okay.
whole like people tend to hate them, so I kind of feel like I have to love them type of thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like they are the most like underrated. Maybe that's because of Twilight, the vampires versus the fucking werewolves.
Oh,
It kind of became a big thing.
oh yeah.
And
What
there's
was
always-
there was a zombie movie that they tried like making a rom-com like Twilight, Warm Bodies.
Oh, was it Warm Bodies,
Bodies.
Owen? Yes, because Nicholas Hoult, thank you very much. Love him so much.
Yep.
My mom let me take off of school my 16th birthday, I think it was, and she took me to the movies to see that because I loved him.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I absolutely
okay.
loved him. And it is a rom-com, and I'm so not the rom part of the com type of person. But such a cute movie.
But
like,
we needed
it's
that.
family fun, right? Yeah, like
we needed the
you
romance
see the
zombie.
wholesome side of the
So
zombie.
I actually have a story about Warm Bodies. I remember it came out, and me and two of my buds were like, "Oh, there's a zombie movie, and it has what's his name in it from Hot Tub Time Machine."
Oh, from Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yeah.
No, all you need to care about is Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah,
And Nicholas
Nicole,
Hoult,
yeah.
but it's the other guy because that's what I knew him from. Was from Hot Tub Time Machine. Was in it. I was like, "Oh man!" I'm like, "This movie kind of
The
looks
kid,
cool."
the young guy?
No, the older guy. His best friend in Warm Bodies. I can't remember his name, and for some reason, my internet doesn't want to work.
Oh.
I haven't seen Warm Bodies. Actually.
Rob
no, it's actually
Caldroy.
cute.
Oh, yeah.
You could probably watch it
So,
with your
anyways,
kids if it's. I would watch it first by yourself, but you might actually be able to watch it with your kids.
Yeah.
I
so
don't
I'm
know
in
if there's,
I'm in
like-
my early 20s, and me and my two best friends go to see Warm Bodies. We buy tickets. I remember going up to the counter, and the person was I was like, "Hey, like, can we get 3 tickets to go see Warm Bodies?" And this girl looks up to us. She's like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, 3 for Warm Bodies," not knowing it was a rom-com. So then
More rom
we go
on the
through. I walk into the theater, and not only is me and my two buds the only men in the theater, we are the only people above the age of 16 in that theater, besides for parents.
All these like middle
Hey,
school girls.
It's not the movie's fault. You're an idiot.
That's very fair.
Maybe watch a trailer next time.
There's also like a show like on like Disney Channel or something. My daughters are watching. I think it's just called
Zombie
Zombies.
High. I thought it was Zombie High or
yeah.
something like that. I've seen it sometimes when I go on the kids section for
Yeah.
my little cousin, but I've always been like, this looks so
But like of
corny.
all the monsters, because we were talking about werewolves, we were talking about vampires. Like especially with vampires, it's easy to make them sexy and romantic and cool.
Right.
You know?
Sure. It's kind of same thing with
Werewolves.
witches. Like they've
Yeah,
always kind of
witches.
been around,
Yeah.
you know.
But zombies has got to be like that. That's the last one to make cool or romantic because like
Yeah.
zombieism is like the opposite. It's just gross and
Right.
death and
Yeah,
decay
intestines are
yeah.
rotting out and
They're great monsters,
They
but
are.
like I love how like society has made them like, oh yeah, no,
Well,
we make them
and
sexy
it's funny
too.
too because like it starts out that they're like slow and you know like can't really climb steps because
Oh,
their
yeah.
legs will fall off
Like,
or whatever
more
it
like
is.
corpses.
But then yeah, but then at the end they're like, okay, well, this isn't practical anymore, so let's kind of evolve the zombies and
Yeah.
let's like, you know, they can run fast as shit. Yeah, in fucking Zombieland, they're booking
yeah.
it. They can run
Oh,
faster
yeah.
than I can.
Dude, well
Cardio.
Because at some point you realize, like, for zombies to be a real threat, you're like, man, if they're just shambling around, they're really not that dangerous.
Right,
Like,
right.
I'm pretty sure we could take them, you know?
Just one good swing, knock them out, they're fine.
But
They're
I
not
don't-
catching up for another 75 miles at least.
But to me, so like, you know, with vampires and werewolves, like that's part of the fun is that they're scary monsters. But with zombies, it's not that they're like an actual threat. Like that to me doesn't matter. What matters, what the fun part with zombies is that there are no rules. And you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, and with them too, and you guys were kind of talking about it a little bit, but they're straight carnal. Like they're only fixated on one thing, and that is hunger. It's to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you're right. They're like one zombie
Except
by
for
itself.
warm bodies.
Yeah, except for warm
He
bodies.
falls in love.
Yeah, that's right. They're thinking with their dick.
That isn't even pumping with
Blood.
blood.
How could they get hard? I don't know.
You can't get an erection.
You
without
can't get
that
erection.
blood
Yeah,
flow.
yeah,
That's blood. That's not
Oh,
muscle. That's
that's
not bone.
yeah.
That's a sin.
Anyways, we
Feel bad for zombies is what we're getting at here.
one zombie isn't the threat, right? But the thing is, it's the
Zombies
snowball.
can't
Okay.
get erections.
We're totally off of
How
right, yeah.
horrible is
Poor thing.
Or except rigor mortis, maybe they died hard.
No, but rigor mortis is your muscles.
No, is it muscles?
Yeah, it's muscle.
Yeah,
it's your
it's just-
muscles.
It's gonna do
Going-
this.
So the penis would still be floppy
Yeah.
even after death.
Even after death.
I
yeah.
know I did that with my hand. I made a little floppy motion. Lexi's making fun of me
I'm
for
sorry.
gesturing.
Owen, guide us here.
Floppy
Guide the ship
zombie
and sing it.
penis.
All I'm saying is, if you had to suck one floppy zombie
Oh,
dick,
God.
what zombie dick would it be?
Nicholas Holtz all day.
Nicholas Holt.
Don't even have to ask me twice. No
It's
twist
like
of my arm.
mashed
any
potatoes
day.
in your mouth.
Listen, I would fuck him as Beast in X-Men too. Like,
Oh,
no
that's right.
question
Oh,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
No question. Which is funny that we actually brought him up because 28 days later, 28 days later gives me his vibe because he was in British Skins.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that same punk rock, like harsh, like edgy, like I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean though? Like even in that movie. All right, I'm not gonna skip ahead.
But that's when we sat down to talk about like the movies, like the famous zombie movies. Because I remember last week when we were trying to go through werewolf movies, we had to like wade through a lot of movies that weren't good. Like, and there's still I think there's still that great werewolf movie is yet to be made. Whereas when it came to
I actually
zombies,
agree.
yeah, when it came to zombies, it's like, dude, there's so many different kinds of zombies.
Yeah.
And there's so many great zombie
it's-
movies out there.
This was
crazy you
another
said that 'cause
hard one.
I didn't think that though. I don't think there are enough good zombie movies.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
zombie
Oh,
movies.
yeah.
I'll agree with you
We
on
need
that.
more. Yeah,
Yeah, because I'm
but
like,
there are a lot already.
I would say
too.
there's
Like, it's
probably
great.
more zombie movies than any of the other major monsters that we're covering for Spooktober.
Oh, you think even
I
more
think-
than vampires?
I think so. I think there's
Oh, wow,
probably
okay.
more zombie movies than there are vampire movies.
But it was hard to choose.
really,
Like,
no, I think there might be more witches though.
Oh, see, the thing with witches is like there's witches
can
are
count
in a
all
lot of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But-
they're
but
not
they're-
about them.
Well, like for instance,
But they
like
are though. They're like the subliminal like backstory. So without them, you don't get your story.
so,
Yeah.
but like, is The Conjuring, for instance, is that a witch movie or is that a haunted house movie?
No, it's a paranormal movie. I would say like
But
Hansel and
it
Gretel.
starts from a
Yes.
witch. Yeah, Hansel and Gretel definitely a witch movie. But we're going to be talking about that in another
I'm
episode.
sorry. Zombies.
But-
Eat brains.
But
this
it
was
was
another
hard.
hard one
Yeah, it
for
was
us to
hard.
narrow
Don't get
down.
brain. Eat brain. Sorry.
Because there's so many movies we wanted to talk about, but like we're like, well, we're doing this movie, so we can't do that movie because it's like too similar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the three movies that we're going to be talking about today, we'll probably tack on a few extra, like we have been doing, but we're going to be talking about Night of the Living Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
I keep on doing that. Dawn
Not
of the
that
Dead.
one.
1978, the
The
original.
original
Dawn of the
George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead, 28 Days Later,
Dead. Yeah.
and Zombieland.
Yeah, those are the three. And because they cover like kind of
The
whole,
evolution
the whole,
of
Yeah.
zombies.
Yeah. I don't know which one you want to start with. I guess we start with the classic.
I mean, we have to go. Well, we can go in chronological.
Old
so,
Giorgio. Yeah.
Lexi, if you want to like tilt your microphone a little bit towards you, so you
Yeah,
stop
there you
hitting
go.
so much.
Yes.
There we go.
Thank you.
Sorry for the listeners at home.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That actually hurt me.
Yeah. Lexi might have had some extracurricular things that makes her limbs not as maneuverable.
The alcohol or the nails because they keep getting caught.
It's
on
the
me.
rigor
Yeah,
mortis.
it's the
That's
rigor
what
It's
it
the
was.
rigor
Yeah.
mortis.
Yeah. That's it. So Romero's the guy who did it.
Yeah.
Romero's the guy who he's kind of the Tolkien, like J.R. Tolkien kind of invented the fantasy
fantasy
genre.
world. Yeah.
Romero took Like, and zombies were a thing before him, but he really invented like what we think of as zombies today. Like, and it started with Night of the Living Dead. That's the one you first said, but that's not the one we're talking about. So Night of the Living Dead was 1968 or something, 1969.
It was, something like that.
And it's black and white, old school classic. But we chose his second one,
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead, just because it's just got so many classic like stuff.
And
in
it is
like,
considered the best of the Romero zombie movies.
Yeah. Oh, it's hard. I mean, because you got Day of the Dead, which is a sequel to this, is really good. It was hard to choose.
I
man.
didn't see it. Yeah, I've never seen that.
Yeah, Day of the Dead's got great, and we'll talk about this with Dawn of the Dead.
Okay.
But Day of the Dead's got amazing like gore effects, whereas Dawn of the Dead does not.
So I do want to say
that's actually one of my first. That's my second note.
Yeah.
It is the aesthetic.
The aesthetic. So this movie was really interesting for me to watch. I mean, we almost had to not do it because it's not anywhere on streaming. Then Lexi herself was like, have you checked YouTube? And there's the full like 1080p extended edition, 2.5 hours long.
Yes,
version
it is
of
long,
this.
and apparently there's an even longer version too. There's like a couple of different versions.
How's that possible?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What more could you have?
I just watch whichever one you link to me, but it's funny because the movie itself. So I guess we kind of do a little bit of this, the overview of the story. Like it's the one like Zack Snyder actually did a
remake
of it later on, but yeah, you get a handful of survivors. The zombie apocalypse has already started. They get in a helicopter. They're fleeing to who knows where, and they come across a mall. Like it's like a mall in the suburbs, and they're like, hey. This is a great place to like shelter. It's got supplies and we can fortify it. And so the rest of the movie is just them holding up in this mall and securing it. And at the end, some bikers come in and fuck shit up. And,
and they have a pie fight? That's my last note. I said not the pie fight.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, the craziest thing is I have actually been to that mall. It's right outside of Pittsburgh. Yeah. It's in a town called Monroeville. Yeah, I have. Anyways, it's actually so crazy because I was watching it and I was like, holy shit, like I was there and I completely forgot that someone had told me that that's where they shot that at. And I was like, no shit.
That's cool.
So it was like actually crazy because it kind of felt like real life. I was like,
yeah,
zombies, except for it was like my second note. The blue, quote unquote, dead paint zombie.
There we go.
Oh my God.
There's some stuff we have to talk about. So first of all, because this is an older movie, there is some problematic language in it.
Correct.
Is there?
Oh yeah, they drop some cultural slangs that's not okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
but,
I caught it in the beginning.
Yeah, but it's very early in the beginning because the issue is they're about to raid an apartment building.
Oh, that at the very beginning, before they take off. That's right.
Because they're trying to stop the zombie plague, so
Yeah.
they're raiding this, and so there is that. But we have to talk about how atrocious the makeup is.
It's so wonderfully, adorably quaint.
No, my favorite is like in the beginning, definitely within the first hour, maybe within the first half hour, and it's when the zombie like comes up the steps in the apartment building and the wife or whoever is like, oh, like, no, like, whatever.
Yeah.
And he bites a chunk out of her shoulder.
Yes.
And it literally looks like white foam with red paint.
Yes.
I was like, is that supposed to be muscle? Like, I don't know what that is.
And the way that it's cut, like it's edited really well. And that's why the movie's so good, is like it's shot really well, it's edited really well, but you can tell they had no budget, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I mean, even the
zombies,
acting sucked, but
most of these zombies
standards.
were just regular people painted with gray. Their skin was painted
Kinda blue.
gray, and that's all. They didn't even have wounds or anything.
Yeah, no.
So
They
it
were just
actually
gray skin.
It is gray, but the film that they were using amplified the natural blue in the gray, so that's why
I
they
actually
look
kinda like a
blue.
love
bluish,
the
purplish,
film.
grayish,
I
yeah.
love the film, like aesthetically to watch.
Yeah.
I could have watched that all day.
What's funny too? Did you notice how all of the zombies were kind of around the same age range? Like they didn't have like.
Any old zombies? Any young
Yeah.
You know why
zombies?
that was?
No.
Because they're all like film students. They were all like,
Seriously? They went to like the local college and it's like, hey, you want to get the real film experience?
went to film school, like, come be in my movie. And they're all like 22-year-old film students. And they're like, all right,
And
here's
then
some great
they show
paint.
up and they're like, oh, fuck, it's a zombie movie?
All right, we're going to be filming for 24 hours today.
Yeah.
Just shuffle around.
No lunch.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So
and they're all just like these hippies, like the late 70s.
Yes.
Like they all have this. All the guys have the same beard and stuff. If you notice, like all the bell bottoms and stuff. It's so adorable, man.
It actually is. It's kind of cute. I also love a bad movie. You know.
Yeah.
Like when people
This
are
isn't.
like-
I wouldn't say a bad movie. I campy. This
well,
is campy.
I feel like when people
Low budget.
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like because of that, a lot of people would kind of consider it on the crappier end of the
I can
spectrum.
see that.
But
Especially for our modern taste.
yes, yeah, because eventually you'll get bored. It's kind of like the same things kind of happen,
Yeah.
and someone's screaming, someone's getting bit. There's no cool like effects, so it doesn't keep you,
Yeah.
or not, you know,
There's
the
nothing
average
like
listener,
shocking or gross or something like gross.
right?
Except at my favorite kill of this movie.
Come on, tell me it's what I'm thinking.
Oh man.
Come on, tell
The
me it's what I'm
helicopter.
thinking.
Yes.
Just scalps them.
Yeah.
The zombie walks. He's shuffling towards the pilot who's fueling up. Right. He's shuffling and he climbs up over these boxes and he goes and right when he gets the pilot's attention and he's about to pounce and he just walks into the helicopter blades and it cuts the top of his head off and he falls over. This is like he cut all the dramatic tension and everything.
Oh, it's so
It was
bad.
awesome. It
My
was
favorite-
That's my favorite part too.
My favorite would have to
Absolutely.
be the white Buddha.
Oh yes.
So randomly in this mall, there's a zombie. And
That
it's a
zombie, yeah.
white dude, but he's dressed like a Buddhist monk.
Yeah, and he's
And-
like bald with like a ponytail
Tail.
or something.
And he's like walking around the mall, and eventually somehow he like figures out how to open doors. It
Oh,
gets
yeah.
to like the main area where they're going, and like there's this lady there, the main lady. My internet isn't working, so I can't pull anything up. That's why I've been on my
Well,
phone.
I mean,
but
she's main lady.
the main lady, yeah,
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. And she's like
Blonde
trying
bitch with
to,
the
she can't
titties?
do it. She's like trying to stab it with flares. She's trying to like climb a ladder, throw boxes at, it, and nothing's working. And so eventually the dudes just run in, and it's just one butt from the rifle, just boop, and he's get. I was
Yeah.
like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah, this is yeah.
Because like even the acting, like that was killing. Just the
There, yeah,
it's just very like basic.
it's not.
There's no.
It's not naturalistic
Kapow!
acting. Yeah, it's not like. Well, the thing too is like the movie doesn't really focus on the characters. Like it just kind of goes through the story. Like you're like, and this happens, and this happens, because like the main lady, she's really the only one who kind of has a character arc. Like she starts off kind of like, I mean, your typical like, I
Yeah.
don't know, but now she's like shooting guns and learning how to pilot the
Yeah.
helicopter. But other than that, like the three guys, they were just the
No.
three guys.
But it's so funny
you
because
know?
my favorite part was when the guy like tells the main girl, he goes run, and then literally shoves the shit out of her,
And she's pregnant.
he just is like, bitch, get the fuck.
I think my favorite part of the movie, though, like, was them just securing the mall
Yeah.
and then shopping. Like, and that is
Because
my
it's realistic.
that's my favorite part of zombie movies because almost every zombie movie has a shopping scene.
Yes.
in it because civilization is broken down, so you can walk into that store and take whatever
Whatever the
you
fuck you
want.
Sure.
And they go and they're wearing their clothes, they're trying to go and jewelry, and then of course the stocking up on guns and
yeah, because
ammo.
literally,
and-
what else are you gonna do? The
Yeah.
world's
Yeah.
ending.
But that part of the movie, that's that wish fulfillment that is so much fun.
And it's fun too because they always end up making the joke like, "Oh, here's my credit card.
yeah.
Yeah, put it all on this," and they're like just walking out, which is all three of our movies kind of have that scene in
Yeah.
there. But yeah, I mean, here's my understanding of this though. Like they had it made, right? Like in that mall, like yeah, there was a lot of zombies, but there was a gun store. They easily could have just stayed there.
Yeah.
Right? Like that could have just been like they secured and hold up. Why do you think that like they felt like they needed to leave? I mean, I know there's the radio call and they're like trying to go, but I'm like, man, like it was good. Like truly you
Well, the
could
had
bikers.
it
I mean, it was the
well,
bikers.
eventually the bike, but they were planning on leaving even before the bikers.
Well, I guess because the movie kind of showed, like, it goes through the stages. It's like, at first, they're, like, scrambling to survive. But once they get to the mall and secure it, they're safe.
Yeah.
They're not concerned anymore. They're not surviving. And so then they start having fun. And they go shopping and ice skating and eating all the food and stuff. And then you can tell they're just bored.
Yeah.
And, like, they've been there a while. Like, he's playing golf on the roof of the mall. Like, they're shooting.
Yeah, they've never had to
shooting
go
stuff.
through COVID where they had to just hold up for a second.
But yeah, 'cause you know
and
what I
just
mean? Like,
be okay with being bored for a
like
little
that
bit.
first couple of weeks of COVID, everyone's excited because you don't have to go to work or whatever.
Yeah, and then
But
after a while, you're like, counting the amount of dots on your ceiling tile, and you're like, holy
like,
shit.
8,321.
I need
Yeah.
to get out right
333.
now. Yeah.
My fan rotates exactly 337 times in a minute.
RPMs.
But so I guess that was they was just like, we've survived, yes, but humans need more than just to survive. We need,
Right.
They're like, we can't just live in this mall for the rest of our lives. And
Yeah, we
grow
have to be
old.
Fuck that. Yeah, I could.
We have to be occupied, though.
They had an arcade, they had a steakhouse, they had a gun shop, they had a hardware shop. Like,
Yeah.
they literally had everything.
They
but
did.
Yeah,
They
except the
did.
bikers came with
Yeah.
the pies.
The
If there's
bikers-
one place to hold up, the mall is the best place to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have everything all in one.
like, what a cool idea, too.
Dude, you can hop back behind like Panda Express, just cook up some shit real quick,
yeah.
Oh, yes.
And Panda Express never goes bad. The amount of sodium that is in their
Like as
food.
long as
The
you have
MSG,
electric and
yeah.
power, you're set. Just don't hope there's not a storm, and it's easy breezing.
Yeah.
That was my only thing is when they busted the ceiling window to get into the mall. I was like, man, when it rains, it's gonna get wet
come
now.
right down.
Are you trying to say when it rains, it pours?
Yeah, there you go.
When it rains, you get.
But
wet.
I love those ideas of like, what do we do in a zombie apocalypse? We got to store water. We got to take our perishable foods and non-perishable foods. We got to get guns and that part of survivalism.
Yeah.
That is so interesting to me.
Absolutely.
I love that stuff.
Like, it's interesting. There was this show, and this is a little bit of a tangent, but there was a show, The Last Man on Earth,
Oh yeah.
with what's his name from SNL?
Jason Sudeikis?
No, it wasn't Jason Sudeikis. It was
Will Forte.
Will Forte,
Yeah.
because he did MacGruber.
Yeah.
And they actually talk about, and this is a real life scenario, that eventually, if like the government collapse, like a zombie apocalypse happens, right? The infrastructure will stay around for a while, like electricity, running water, things
Yeah.
like that. But eventually it will break down.
Yeah.
But the scary part is eventually all of our nuclear plants, because they're not being maintained, will explode.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Isn't that
So-
crazy?
So the thing is, like, you could, for instance, in this mall, stay and survive forever. But the issue is eventually, like, and
There'd be some
they've mapped it out
radioactive
where it's like
fallout or
pretty
something.
much all of the United States and like most of North America will go by. Like,
So
it'll
have-
just become a radioactive.
So have you heard of
wasteland.
this too? Like apparently, like if civilization were to collapse, we actually wouldn't ever be able to rebuild because the oil that we've gotten is like we've used all the oil that's close to the surface. And so the only oil that's left is like really deep underground, and you have to have very sophisticated technology to mine it or to get it. So in other words, so if society collapsed and we tried to rebuild again like we did, we wouldn't be able to because we wouldn't be able to
we have
access
to find
any
a
of the
way
oil.
to not do fossil fuels, which is kind of where we're going. Anyways.
Which is but like how could you get around that?
Yeah.
But anyways, but that's the kind of cool stuff that even like medicine.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I can't even survive without my allergy meds. I need Zyrtec every day, my dude.
Right.
Yeah, I've been taking a lot of Zyrtec lately.
I'm walking right into that zombie horde if I got to go through this congestion every day.
So that's
Stock up on the
that's a
Zyrtec.
good segue. There is a scene in Dawn of the Dead that I did want to talk about, and it's towards the end when the main character, I believe his name was Steven, or no, Peter.
I didn't know any of the main characters had
Yeah.
names.
So
Nope, me
Steven,
neither.
Peter, Roger, and Francine.
I just know
But
about the
there's
one
four.
whose dick you see in the like opening.
Wait, do we see a dick?
Oh yeah,
I
when
didn't
he's in the
notice that.
hospital.
Oh,
No,
that's
he's
right.
in the
Yeah.
hospital.
That's
bed.
28 days later.
Yes, that's 28 days
Oh,
later.
I'm sorry.
yeah.
We're talking about Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the
I'm
Dead
so
stuff.
sorry. I
Yeah.
thought you skipped.
Yeah.
No. So there's a scene towards the end where Peter, he's like, I don't want to leave. I'm done. And he just gets into a room and puts a gun to his head. And then
Yeah.
he finally is like, oh, wait, no, I'm going to.
Yeah, he's like debating it.
Yeah. What would you guys do that? I mean, like we talked
Like,
about it in the
off
vampire
yourself?
movie,
Yeah.
like 30 Days of Night, where one of the guys kills his family because he doesn't want them to be brutally tortured by the vampires.
Yeah.
I mean, honest question.
You'd have to have it as like a backup plan, right? Like if I were holed up in the mall, I'd be fine. With a helicopter on the roof,
Yeah.
I'm cool. But if like the hordes are coming
If I'm
to my
surviving,
house,
all right, then like I'm gonna keep going. But if I'm at the end of my rope, where
Yeah.
like I'm running out of food, electricity's going, like you know what I mean. If all the
Yeah.
things are in it, then it's my time.
you'd have
to
to
go.
have like a bottle full of sleeping pills or something with you at all times, just in case.
just in case.
Yeah.
Because like, man, because I'm not getting eaten alive. I'm not going out that way. That's not how I'm going.
Yeah.
It does not sound fun.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Human Happy Meal, no thank
No.
you.
I'll take those pills or that bullet, you know.
Human Happy Meal?
It goes right
what
for
toy?
the
What
Achilles.
toy would you come with?
Fuck. Put me on the spot.
Flaccid zombie
brass
penis.
Knuckles.
Yeah.
Brass knuckles.
Brass knuckles.
They could be fit in Happy Meal just
yeah.
perfectly. You can't put like a shotgun in there. What Happy Meal packaging are you gonna have for that?
I don't know, like a big flannel shirt. I don't know.
Obviously, mine would be
McFlannel?
a 20-sided die. Would
Yeah,
be
oh, there
my
you go.
toy for my happy. If you ate me alive, you would get a 20-sided die.
I like that.
That's my
cool.
Happy Meal.
Mine's protection.
Mm.
You got to be safe on the
Condom?
streets. No, brass knuckles.
No brass knuckles.
Oh.
If you're leaving the McDonald's,
I don't know how brass knuckles could be used as a condom. That doesn't make sense.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Unless you're no. Anyways,
Just say you have a small weenie and
Yeah.
go.
I mean, if it's a zombie flaccid dick, I could probably use it as
100%.
as a brass knuckles as a condom.
Well, we have established that they are all flaccid.
they all flaccid.
So
yes.
Except for Nicholas Holt, because his heart starts beating at the end, so his dick starts rising at the end too.
Love is always the true cure for zombieism.
that's why they're shuffling. 'cause
So
it's-
stupid.
like,
Love does not solve everything.
Everything,
When will
yeah.
we learn this?
go
So-
out and hug the zombies.
Yeah, just hug
I
them.
would.
They'll understand what's going on.
That is how I would get killed.
Yeah.
I would like eventually be like, this one just needs a hug. I can save this one, and then game over.
And a hug is not like the most intimate thing you could do, which also presents your neck right to their mouth.
Yeah.
Not at all. Anyways,
Yeah.
we need to move on to the next movie.
This is a
do
good
it.
one. I recommend. It's a classic.
Yeah.
It's old school. It's quaint. You know,
It's a little bit more on the comedic side, and George A. Romero did that on purpose because he didn't want it to be so dark and heavy like Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
And so I do suggest it. I think if you're a zombie fan, if you're a horror fan, a zombie, whatever, like definitely
Check it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's old school. It's classic.
Jinx.
It's on YouTube for free,
Yeah.
and it's long.
Or we just bootlegged it. I don't know. I just watched the link you sent me. I don't know.
But the next one we got to talk about, this was my pick. I will say this was definitely like, if we're doing a zombie episode, we have to talk about 28 Days Later.
Yes.
Because honestly, I think, and I've said this every single Spooktober episode about one of our movies, and I think 28 Days Later captures the zombie experience the best. Like, it is one of the more iconic.
I'll give you
like,
that.
if you were to wake up and it's all of a sudden the zombie apocalypse, I think 28 Days Later would be the best representation.
Also the
of it.
worst way.
Also,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like to
Yes.
just wake up
Yes.
and be in this hospital bed alone. Yeah.
The dude hangs dong. He's
Yeah.
just out for
Literally
everybody
out.
to see.
British.
So you're talking about penis. So this is the one that opens up with Scarecrow's penis.
Yeah. Cillian
Full-fledged
Murphy.
dick.
Cillian Murphy. Yeah.
Full-fledged wiener.
And I was like,
and
wow.
That's how you know it's a British film, baby.
The dude
You know what I
hangs
mean?
dong.
They show you the weenies. They do not hide them.
Oh,
Whereas
I got
American
underwear.
Is that why
American
it's
horror
called
movies.
BBC?
Oh God.
Does that
Maybe.
stand for something?
Do you not know what BBC is? It's not the British Broadcasting.
Oh, God.
that is the British Broadcasting Company.
Yeah, there's something else it stands for.
I'm not Googling
No,
that.
think about it.
Yeah,
You'll find
come
it.
on.
It'll
Come
come
on.
to you eventually.
Go on your phone.
So, no.
Type in
But
BBC.
but like what you said, like these are the worst zombies. Like these are the ones that I absolutely would not want to go up against. The Romero zombies, the slow shuffling,
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
take
that
them.
would be
Let's go.
fun.
Yeah.
You
I'm
run
thinking
around
it's
them
like
and
whack-a-mole in a way, you know?
But where these, dude, in 28 Days Later, where they're like sprinting at you.
Yeah,
and
no,
like
I
they're-
can't outrun them.
Yes.
I can't. I absolutely cannot.
And that's one of the things. And a lot of people, when like 28 Days Later came out, the remake, the Zack Snyder remake of Dawn of the Dead came out. That's when like the fast zombies started to become popular.
Yeah, they started running.
And
yeah.
a lot of people are like, well, these aren't zombie movies. It's an infection movie. I'm like, look, we as a society have moved on from like zombies as just miraculously raised from the dead. It's not just like the apocalypse, like God has come down and
Yeah.
made the dead raise, or witchcraft anymore. It's like, no, it is meant to be. It is a mindless creature that only wants to spread its infection or eat.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that's why I'm like 28 Days Later, even though it is a infection movie, it is a zombie movie.
And this is the one
that starts with chimps.
It starts with chimps. Yeah, the rage virus.
and it's the most scientific because they're technically not dead. They're just infected.
yeah.
And they actually starve to death after a while because so they do have to eat. So there's like it's actually realistic. Whereas every other zombie movie, you know, like they're still shuffling around. Like
Yeah.
how do they still move and stuff like that? But you just accept it because it's a zombie movie. Whereas this one is like, man, they follow these rules. And the thing is like any drop of blood that gets in you, like in your eye or in your mouth
Yeah.
or whatever, and you're instantly infected. And the thing is, like, they're vomiting blood too, like as they're attacking. It's like, oh my gosh, like. Like,
fucking disgusting.
Yeah, these are the worst. I'm like, get away! Like,
well, that's the hard part because, and they even address this in the movie where one of the people that comes and rescues Cillian Murphy, a zombie attacks him, and no one gets bit, but the dude that rescues Cillian Murphy, when he kills the a zombie, like he gets blood in a wound, and just in a normal wound or something like that, and they immediately have to kill him because they know he's about to turn.
Well, we should talk about the overall story of this one. So, which is what's wonderfully unique is he starts out where he wakes up in a hospital in the middle of London, and he's all alone. And so these first scenes where he's walking through London, and the streets are completely deserted, and there's no trickery. They actually filmed it this way, and that is the weirdest, eeriest, creepiest. And he's like, "Hello." Hello, like no one's around.
Yeah,
this
that's
whole
just
city.
Fucking scary.
And he gets caught up. You know, he finds this group of survivors, and they're like zombie apocalypse in the United Kingdom, to the rage virus, and he meets he kind of meets this one woman, and they meet this father and daughter, and they become
Harris,
a happy family, and it's really endearing. And then the father dies. Oh, that scene was the worst. And then at the end, where they go to this military outpost, where they're like, oh, we're gonna be safe now. But the soldiers are undisciplined and they're like violent and
and I want to talk about that for sure. But before we get into, because that's a whole segment I want to talk about.
Oh yeah.
And that's one of the things I really liked about this movie is he wakes up and I think it's only like 2 to 3 weeks after the start of the infection.
Well, it's 28 days later.
Yeah, 20. Oh yeah, fair. Yeah,
4 weeks.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Where they finally he wakes up and you're right, it's terrifying. And the first place he goes is to a church.
Oh yeah,
and he's like maybe the church knows what's going on, so he finds like a traditional Catholic church, and everyone inside that church is turned, and that scene when the father, the priest just comes shambling through the doors. I remember watching it and I jumped out of my seat. Father, and he's like, am I? Huh? And then you could see the confusion in his face because he's like, I'm about to beat the shit out of a priest.
Yeah,
because he still doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, he just hits him with like his bag of shoes.
Got to do what you got, you know?
The improvised weapons, that's another staple of the zombie genre.
Yeah, you have to, for sure.
Absolutely. You have to always have a weapon.
What weapon would you have with you? What at all? Would you have to make sure you at all times?
See, I don't know. That's hard.
Any in the world. I know I put you on the spot.
Machete.
Okay, yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, I'm thinking like the Lucille from The Walking Dead, the baseball bat with the barbed wire around it.
Yeah, that's another good one because it's something like. The thing is you want to go gun because you don't want them to get too close to you, but you're eventually going to run out of bullets.
Exactly. That's the thing.
So you need
ammo.
something.
And also, here's the thing, too. A lot of people think they could just pick up a gun and get a headshot. It is very, very hard.
It is.
Yeah, half of you have never picked up a gun before and tried to aim.
If you pick up a gun and start shooting at a person, you probably won't hit the person, let alone their head.
Yeah. So here's my thing. I love your guys' choice of weapons, but I have one, and I think it is the supreme choice of any zombie apocalypse.
Ooh, okay.
Crowbar.
Okay.
Not a bad
because it's
idea.
a weapon and a tool.
Okay.
Because think about it, if you could have to carry something with you, you don't have a car, right? Like you have a backpack. You have to be very minimalistic.
Yeah.
So crowbar, I can kill somebody with.
And as well, they're so short though. That's the only thing.
Not really. I mean, it's not that much shorter than it's about the same length as a machete.
Yeah.
And also depending on the crowbar, because there's some heavier ones, but as well, like boarded up houses, trying to get doors open.
Yeah,
using it for that.
That's a good one.
It's also a tool.
That is good. That is good. I would think too, like
it's harder to kill somebody because like with the machete, you can easily cause brain damage in one hit.
Or,
a crowbar, the only downside is you might need more than one hit.
Or I would substitute my machete for big ass hedge trimmers.
Oh, see, I thought that would be the worst one. I was like, there's no way that's
so
gonna
the only
be
issue with that is if you use it as stab or even the cutting, it's really easy for it to get caught. And
you gotta pull it back out.
Okay, even a machete.
Okay, well, ask me how many times I've used fucking hedge trimmers. Ask me how many times I've used them. No.
0. Yeah.
One of that.
You're just as useful with it with a gun.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck you.
But watching 28 Days Later too, like it made me realize like how valuable the car is.
Yeah,
very.
Because I would even say that's more valuable than the weapon because the car you can be safe in, lock the doors, and there's some semblance of safety.
Just like go a little bit forward, go a little bit backwards.
Yeah.
Go a little bit forward, go a little bit backwards.
And they were just crushing them all.
Just not- yeah,
That's
not-
the Romero
Just doing
zombies.
circles. Like,
I killed 13,000 zombies doing that.
just doing donuts in the parking lot.
Just like 45 minutes. They just wouldn't stop coming.
Yeah. I just all I had to do was about 3 pounds of pressure on my right foot, and I killed 40,000 zombies.
So let me ask you a question. I don't know. I was just thinking about this, but do you think zombies go more based on smell, nice, or more based on sound?
Sound. I don't think
Yeah.
smell. There are a couple
Do they
movies
have
where you can
sniffing zombies?
where you can hear zombies sniffing, but I would say it's
Yeah.
definitely more sound.
I think the sound, yeah.
Okay.
Because you make a big sound. Which was one of my problems with 28 Days Later. I wrote this note in all caps. Stop making noise!
Oh my god.
Stop shouting!
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up!
Yes, they're shouting in every scene of this movie. I'm like, be quiet!
Yeah. No, wait for me. Don't leave
Wait for me! They know where you are, you asshole!
Fucking idiot.
My favorite is when they get to the military compound. They're like, you wouldn't want to mow the lawn here because we have landmines everywhere. I'm like, oh, cool. So you're going to kill one zombie,
Yeah.
and that explosion's going to be heard by another 400.
Hey, but all you need is one more of those landmines to blow up and take them out.
Yes, but I mean, like, at no point is landmine a effective tool.
Yeah.
Because you might, if it's a horde, you might get a good group of them.
Yeah.
But even then, like, if we go by traditional zombie standards, you have to sever, like, brain damage or sever the spinal nerve.
Which that wasn't the case in 28 Days Later.
It's not, yeah.
See, Call of Duty just takes grenades.
Thank you so much for knowing that.
I guess the barbed wire fence would be more effective because then they would pile up against each other.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that'd be better than
Oh, smart.
some kind of fence like that would be good to get them out. Yeah.
I mean, just any barricades
yeah.
would be great.
Yeah.
But
I wonder how they were at swimming.
oh man, there are some movies that have gone that route.
So that's in the book World War Z, where like it talks about like after they finished the zombie apocalypse and like civilization came back, and people went back to normal, but people at the beaches every now and then would encounter a zombie because they would shamble up out of the ocean.
Shut up. You're telling me they're walking across the
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
ocean
Yeah.
floors?
They're full on
outta here.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Get out of here.
If you think about it, it wouldn't kill them, right? Like,
If they don't need to breathe,
They
yeah.
just walk forever.
so I guess like lakes and ocean, like no one would swim anymore.
What about
because-
like electric eels, bro? Just make them stand on the other side of an in-ground pool, and then just have them all come to you and just pool full
Electrify
of
that
electric
Oh my
fucking
gosh.
eels. Drop some toasters in there for fun.
surely the sharks are on our side in this battle?
there is an old zombie movie that has a zombie underwater during a scuba diving scene, and he has to wrestle a shark. Yeah. I can't remember which one it is. But
That's got to be like in a movie like Velocipaster and shit.
Zombie NATO.
God damn it! Seriously, Brando? You and I,
The
you and I hang out
tornado's
too
dead.
much.
The tornado's
Zombie
back from the
Sharknado.
dead. Yeah. Oh,
But this
shit.
movie has the famous shopping scene in it as well, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. Where
It's-
they walk in
yeah.
and the dad goes, he goes for scotch.
He's
He-
found the
yeah,
scotch. Yeah, the 16-year-old
Scotch.
Scotch.
Single malt. Yeah, and he's like sitting there talking to himself about like the flavors, and then the guy, Cillian Murphy, just walks away.
And then he gets like 5 more boxes.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, but 100% though, right? Like fuck, I need a drink.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, with the
Yeah.
word that's going on the way that it is, the less thing I could use. You
no,
know
I
what
mean, no
Like,
joke. In a zombie apocalypse, I would have like really expensive, durable clothes and like really expensive, like great boots. And then I would have like really expensive, like bourbon or something like that. I'd have some gold rings, you know. I'd have like really big
just to
guns.
feel good when you went out.
Yeah. Like if I could like loot the planet, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I'm going for all that stuff.
I'm definitely looting Cold Stone Creamery. I'm
Oh.
going in. I'm going in.
Yes.
Cake batter, let's get it.
Lexi, if the zombie apocalypse happened tomorrow, how long would it take you to die from your twisted tea addiction? Like
I
with
don't
the
know.
twisted tea withdrawal,
Don't call
how
it
many
fucking
days?
Addiction. It's
Surely-
not an
surely-
addiction.
Don't you think there's enough left in the world to like last the rest of your life?
I don't know
Dude,
if
because I would start hot wiring cars to take me to the gas stations. You know what I mean? I don't
Picking
care
up
if I
those
gotta
tall
drive
boys.
to fucking Alabama, and then I'll hit Texas, then I'll hit fucking Nevada.
See, that was another thing I read online.
You get to travel the world for free.
Yes. But I read that like gasoline would break down, like it doesn't
Eventually
store. So you would want like vehicles that are powered by like propane, because propane just stores forever. And but I don't I don't know what kind of vehicles would be.
I'm gonna be riding on Roombas.
You kind of can run vehicles off like straight ethanol. So if you knew how to moonshine and you made high enough proof, you could.
Yeah.
But the vehicle would break down.
I don't have those skills.
I do. I know how to moonshine.
I don't have those skills.
But yeah, eventually it's so bad for the vehicle that they would break down really quickly.
But you're right though, like the traveling, that's another kind of staple of a lot of zombie movies.
Oh yeah, you gotta go.
Because especially when it's in the apocalypse, like you're going somewhere and this movie does, and our next movie does too, is you go to the different cities and towns and you see them in disarray, on fire, or but also you're traveling the countryside and part of it's really nice, and it's, you're on a road trip.
Like Mount Rushmore probably hasn't changed, so I'm gonna go check that out real quick.
No, all the presidents are like decayed.
They're
look
all
like
zombies
monsters. That coming and got the mountains.
I didn't know stone could get infected by the zombie virus.
The Grand Canyon turns gray. It's like, oh no.
Jesus, if the Grand Canyon was a zombie, it's just one giant mouth.
No, it just scabs
it's like a Sarlacc
over.
pit.
It's just a big scab. You can walk across it, it's just a scab.
But this movie of the three deals with one of my favorite elements of a zombie movie. And that is that sometimes the worst thing about the zombie apocalypse is not the zombies.
That's
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is the other survivors.
Yes.
And, they do a little bit of that in Dawn of the Dead. I almost said Night of the Living Dead. And Dawn of the Dead with the bikers.
The bikers.
But this one really shows the depravity of the three that we're talking about, really shows the depravity of people.
Like other people. When there's no rules, because that's part of the zombie movie is, what happens when there's no civilization.
Yeah.
The
social norms have gone out the window.
And honestly, like I don't think it's a cynical take to say, without those things, a lot of people would do bad things.
Yeah.
100%.
Like, I think society and social nice, because someone said this to me, they were like, complaining about being polite, like saying like please and thank you and things like that, and they're like, oh, it's so stupid because it doesn't mean anything, or
it means everything.
All these little pleasantries.
Use your fucking manners.
Yeah, how are you doing today? Oh, fine. How are you? Oh, fine. And I'm like, you know what? I think those little niceties are what keep us from eating each other. Like, humans are barbarians. Like, we need those. We need social pleasantries.
Like, I wouldn't pay taxes if the jail wasn't an issue.
Yes. Yeah. Like, no joke.
Yeah.
Like,
if the government's like, you should pay taxes. I'm like, what if I don't? And they're like, oh, nothing. I was like, and then you ain't getting taxes.
Yeah.
But like, if you don't pay taxes, you're going to jail. I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to pay my taxes.
And like with 28 Days Later, it's, when someone has power, and all they had was like half a dozen soldiers with machine guns, and that was their power, but that's enough to make them more powerful than anyone else. And so when you have that much power, the temptation to abuse it is so tremendous. Of course, when the two women walk in and there's these guys, they haven't seen women in a while, civilizations break down, all this stuff. And it's like the temptation to be evil, it was too much. And
I'll stab any man anytime.
Yeah. I mean,
as you should.
Watch your mouth.
The issue with this, and it's going to sound bad when I say it, but I don't mean it like that. But what they were doing and why they're doing makes sense. Right? Because the whole entire point was Major Henry West, which was the leader of the troop brigade, said like a week ago, he found a couple of his men with like a gun in their mouth. They're about to kill themselves because there was no future.
Yeah. Their morale was so low. Their discipline was so bad. Yeah.
So he's like, I promised them women. So I'm not saying what they're doing was good, but I get it, right? Where it's like, it's so bleak. And that's why I asked the question about the last movie was like, if you were there, would you just, it's towards the end, morale's low, would you just kill yourself?
Yeah.
Where this one,
no, because if I wanted sex, I'm sure I could look at any one of the whatever survivors of the dudes and be like, all right, you'll do, let's go.
Let's go. Yeah. But that's the thing where it's like,
that's the difference between us though. Like if it were us, it'd be like, all right, we're all a bunch of dudes here.
Yeah.
None of the ladies made it.
It's so
Or if it was 50-50, it'd be like some guy like me and Owen would be like, you? No.
No.
You?
Yeah,
No.
no.
Anyone? Anyone at all? Come on, it's the end of the world.
Somebody,
Yeah.
please.
I don't think sexuality exists anymore.
I'm still getting rejected. Whereas
Just
Lexi
please,
walks
for
in,
the
she's
love
like,
of God.
you, come on. Okay, all right.
Yeah. But like that's the thing is with this, it's like it sucks, right? But it's like
Yeah.
I get why those men wanted to kill themselves.
No,
Yeah.
totally, 100%.
And it makes sense. What they did is I'm not justifying in any way, shape,
No,
or
no,
form
no.
afterwards. But all I'm saying is like if morale is that low, it
Well, that-
it will
it's
drive
easy to get there.
It will drive
Yeah.
people to do insane, crazy things because they're trying to.
Yeah. And that's what this movie does, and that a
Be
lot
happy.
of zombie movies show is people do evil things, but they show why they do them. And it doesn't justify them, but that's
it helps
what's so
you
uncomfortable.
understand.
Yeah.
It just helps you understand.
That's why it's so uncomfortable. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because you do understand it, and you're like, geez, but it's evil, and it's just that's this part of the scary thing too is like not just the zombies as monsters, but just as the collapse of civilization.
Yeah,
That
because your
is a
morals
scary
go
thing, yeah.
almost immediately because you're just in survival mode.
Yeah, and the things that you would have to do to survive, and the things that you'd have to do to stay sane, and it's like that's scary, man.
And that's one of the things. And even though the show itself has turned to hot garbage, The Walking Dead.
yes,
The first couple seasons did a really good job of that,
absolutely.
of showing just how bleak surviving is.
Yeah,
Right?
The first 2 seasons I got into, and then I kind of fell off.
I was
but-
in for maybe 7 seasons. It was in for a while.
Yeah, I stopped once Keegan arrived.
Negan. I'm the same.
Yeah.
He was in, but The Walking Dead was probably some of the best. It goes
Yeah.
downhill really fast.
But it's so good at doing that where because so many people I fantasize about if a zombie apocalypse happened, maybe not fantasize, but maybe a little
weird
bit.
term.
Yeah, I fantasize about it,
But
but, it's
it is
how
like a
long
wish
could I
fulfillment
survive?
thing, yeah.
How long could I survive?
it's like I could do
Right?
it. I got a bunch of spam.
Yeah, I'm like, I
I got a big
Spam.
truck. I got a shotgun.
I have Pasoli for days.
but we all think we'd be one of the
yeah.
survivors.
But it's watching The Walking Dead made me realize that I'm like I could physically I think I could survive for quite a long time.
yeah.
Like I could
I
get
give myself
there,
a month.
but I don't know
After
if-
30 days of this shit, I'm fucking tired. I can't even sleep because I'm gonna hear at any point. No, fuck
You're
that.
one of the people screaming out the window. Shut the fuck up!
Brains! Stop screaming, brains! God damn it! I'm trying to sleep.
I'm so sick of hearing brains.
Shut up! Yeah. God.
I would 100%
We're all gonna fucking
lose
die
my mind.
because of you, Lex.
Yeah, I would lose my mind. I'm heading to Denver. I'm picking all their plants so I can stay calm the entire time.
Getting
because
high and walking through downtown.
100%. Hey, I only saw 7 zombies on the way to get my burger this morning. If you guys want to head out now.
Well, they did have that scene in 28 Days Later with the girl. She took all those what was it, Percocet or something?
Yeah.
And so she was super chill
Yeah.
when the house was being invaded by zombies. And it's like, you know what? I guess that'd be the way you'd go. Just some kind of
Xanax
medicine
or
to
something like
chill
that.
you out. We're like, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm
let's go.
I'm not even concerned. Yeah.
But my thing is, I think I know in myself is eventually the things I'd have to do to survive would make me not want to anymore.
yeah.
And
If
that's
I
and
have
that's
to
the crazy
revert
part.
back to hunting gathering, if I have to go out and fucking get my own fish from a lake, I'm
Well, I couldn't do
fucking
it.
out.
Oh,
Oh, see,
I'd be hunting in a
no.
grocery store.
Yeah, but after
Yeah.
a while, dude, I mean, you can travel so much and shit, but after a while, you're gonna get fucking exhausted of this life.
Is there
Yeah.
any food?
Because I
that-
feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
well, in The Walking Dead, they kind of do that where they start to rebuild civilization.
Yeah.
So, and that's the question: is your zombie scenario one where we can rebuild civilization? I guess
Yes.
that would be.
I mean, maybe not to
I don't
this
have
point,
very
but
much faith in humanity as a whole, so I'm gonna go with no. It probably isn't going to rebuild. At least not in because realistically, I feel like what would happen is the 2 people that survived would be family members, and so then it's all downhill from there. You know what I mean? Because they did everything to
Targaryen it up.
they-
Genetically?
Yeah.
well, because they did everything to protect each other. You know what I mean? Because you would do anything for your kids,
Yeah, yeah.
right? You would do anything for me, right? And I'm just kidding.
Sure.
He's like, yeah, no, bitch, have her. Zombies, you want her, take her.
Yeah,
She's getting on my fucking nerves.
You would
Somebody
somehow
please.
be accidentally tripped if we were running away from zombies.
Bitch, I'm not running. I'm sacrificing. Bye. Have fun. Oh, and live on. Go drink 3 Twisted Teas for me.
I'm gonna pull Shane and I'm gonna shoot you in the kneecap.
I'm gonna say, oh, and run, and I'm gonna shove you.
I think realistically, I would die really early on because I snore when I sleep.
Yeah, you're dead.
And
You're gone.
that would be that dumb shit that gets
That's
me
Gage
eaten right
Yep,
there.
100%.
It's like, man, I got all the skills, I got the willpower, all that stuff.
I got the aim, the accuracy.
But I fall asleep and I snore like a fucking mountain goat, man. I'm just like,
It's like you don't realize how much noise you make until you're not allowed to make noise.
Yeah.
yeah.
Everything is the loudest fucking thing. Bag of chips, never eating them again. Don't even fucking think about it. It's the only thing in the grocery store that is still on the shelves.
I need these fucking
I mean, that's what's terrifying about The Quiet Place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
new movie like that too that I just watched. It was like Don't
The
Speak
Quiet Place
or
2?
something. No, it was
Don't
called-
Breathe.
Maybe it was that.
I just watched that one too.
Yeah, and it was like because I remember them opening the fence.
Yep.
And you're like, oh my God, if it squeaks, you're
Yeah.
fucked. Like, if it rattles, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like, don't go to the fence.
So, anyways, 28 Days Later, I fucking love it. I think, like I said, I think it's one of the pinnacle zombie movies
Yeah.
of what it
I'll
would
give that to
actually
you.
be like to
And definitely
live
the worst scenario.
in the fucking worst
Yeah.
scenario.
Absolutely.
Yeah, these are
It's-
the worst zombies.
Yeah, they are. Definitely.
But that takes us to
My favorite one.
my
the
favorite
best
one.
scenario. Zombieland.
I'm getting stuck with you, Owen and Brando. Like, you guys are
Dude.
stuck with me. We're going to fucking everywhere. We're going to Hershey Park. We're going
Oh, Hershey Park. I haven't been to Hershey Park since like
Dude, we're
fifth
on a
grade.
fucking vacation. Yeah, just flip them power generators, man.
So there's a reason why we're doing this movie. Not only because I truly think it is one of the best zombie movies of all time, but
is.
Brando and I we were going through trying to create our list, and then Lexi's like, I want to do zombie movies. I was like, cool. I'm like, this is our list, and I don't think you even read the list I sent you because the text you sent me immediate. It was like immediate. Was we're doing Zombieland.
That's all I remember is being like, I'm doing zombies. Okay, now we're doing Zombieland.
So I don't know if you noticed, but me watching these back to back, like this is, if you look at 28 Days Later, that's the British version where they're in a taxi cab and they have no guns and they're
Yep.
running scared. And the American version is when they're in a fucking Hummer and they have machine guns and
they just keep
shotguns.
finding more and more bigger guns.
Yeah, they go right to Texas. They're like, let's go.
And they go to a fucking amusement park or ride roller coaster and just blow people the fuck up, man.
That's how you got to do it, dude. Like on the
Oh.
rides and shit. Like,
So
what a
this
great way.
this does the wish fulfillment to the max.
Yeah.
Because not only do they have all the cars and stuff, but just being able to shoot hordes of zombies and being loaded down to bear because like in real life
It's gotta
that's
be fun.
horrible. That's violent.
Well, no,
you know.
it's got to be kind of fun.
But like,
Yeah.
but I mean, like
For
if they were-
zombies.
for zombies, that's the thing. It
Not
makes
humans.
it fun. It makes violence fun.
Yeah.
And you don't feel bad about it.
Well, because also you're doing a good thing.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
You're also being applauded for doing something that you
Yeah.
thought was wrong this entire
And
time.
this movie has so many scenes of them just shooting zombies.
And guess
and
what?
running
Having
them
a
down.
great fucking time while
Yes,
they're doing it.
yes.
They're like always like really having a good time, except for the flashback that
Oh,
Columbus has with 406.
Oh, which shows the true nature of Amber Heard.
Yeah, I'm so glad she got fucking cracked with a fucking toilet bowl, John. She deserved that in every. And then
And,
when I watched it back, I was like,
And Tallahassee too. where
Tallahassee, Woody Harrelson.
You
Yeah.
find out his dog that he lost,
Dude, so
wasn't his dog.
man,
His
you're
dog.
100% going straight into it because
oh,
We
sorry.
are.
like
I'm
this
sorry.
is-
Did you want to dance around
Why
this for a
don't
little
you-
bit?
Why
We're
don't you tell
excited.
the overall story?
Okay, so the
then?
overall story is there's a character Jesse Eisenberg plays named Columbus, and he's trying to get back to Columbus because he's at some he's away for college.
He hopes that
when the zombie apocalypse happens, and he's trying to get back to Columbus, Ohio, to hopefully find his family. He eventually runs into Woody Harrelson, who plays Tallahassee because he's
Yeah.
from Tallahassee.
who was just wonderful.
And then
Oh
they
my
pick-
God,
yeah.
couldn't have had a better character.
And
He's
then
he's just
he
a redneck.
Yeah, they pick up Emma Stone and Abigail Breslin, which is Wichita and Little Rock,
Yeah,
and it's just them traveling
and they become
United
a family.
States and become a family and kill zombies.
And that's all it is.
Yeah.
There's no more
I,
story to
I
that.
like the part too that they they were given these names,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
obviously, like
Because they didn't want to
he's on board.
tell each other's names because they didn't want to get too
Close.
committed.
Yeah, because what happens if they get taken by a zombie, or if you can trust them, or
Yeah.
whatever the case is. So I think it's really smart to just go by geographical location.
So you live in East Nashville, right?
Technically, yeah.
Okay,
A little
so
outside suburb.
because I thought about that, I was like, if there were two of us from the same place, because technically we could call Owen Madison, but if it were me and you and we survived, like which one of us would be Nashville? You know, would one of us be Nashville and the other one be East Nasty?
No. I'm taking Philly. I'm taking Philly.
Oh,
to
Philly.
the grave.
Okay,
She's Philly.
I'm
yeah.
taking Philly to the
There you
grave.
go.
I'm,
Well, then
I'm not dying.
I'll go
Nashville.
Nashville then.
I mean, then technically you would call me OC,
Okay,
Orange
yeah.
County.
Yeah. So I guess you get to
But
to
you
choose
own this
where
house,
you're from
baby.
or where
I do
you
own
live.
this, yeah.
You
Yeah,
technically own this house,
I
so
do.
you're more.
You're a resident here.
Yeah.
I
I
am. Yeah. I was saying if she could do Philly, then if we're doing like our original places, it'd be Brandon would be Nashville.
Yeah.
I would be OC, and Lexi would be Philly.
100%.
Mm.
Yeah, this movie.
This
fucks.
movie is so much fun,
And
man.
It is, and it's funny.
Yes. Yes.
They do all the iconic zombie stuff that you want in a zombie movie, but they do it with a twist that makes it fun, where you're still watching like zombies get brutally murdered and massacred
Yeah.
in such fun ways, which would be normal for a zombie movie, but they make it so much fun. Like the scene when they first go into the supermarket.
Yes.
Because Tallahassee has an obsession that he wants to have a Twinkie before he dies.
Yep.
Yes, he does.
And he brings in a banjo and he does a to draw the zombies out.
Yeah.
And then they murder like four. They just fucking,
the banjo?
with the banjo, with a bat,
hedge
with the head trimmers.
clippers.
Yeah, they do the hedge
Takes the
clippers.
head
Oh,
right
you're
the
a big
fuck
pretty
off.
boy. Let's take a little off the top.
And it wasn't like it wasn't that tension of like, will they die? Is it survival? It's like, no, we're gonna just kill these zombies.
Yeah, we're not
you know?
scared. We're having fun.
And in this movie, if they're by themselves, the zombies aren't scary at all, and they're just fun to take out. The only time they're scary is when they're with big groups of people, and that
Which
makes it
you don't
so
really
much
see
fun.
until the end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they're not in any real danger until like the end.
Exactly.
And
My only thing was just like I keep going back to the guns thing. Like it just like that's part of that. Like they have all these like he's doing donuts while he's shooting this
guns.
like Mac 10 or whatever it is out the
Yeah, just
window.
waste the ammo.
Yeah, it's just so much fun. Like
Or how
to
about when he
shoot them
just
in different
he's
ways.
driving and the zombie's like trying to come off the floor and he just drives by and opens his door. He just clotheslines him.
yeah. Doesn't it just make you hungry?
He's like, no, that's not the word I was
That's
going
good.
to
Columbus is like, I'm scared.
There's something wrong with you. But even how it opens up, like it's opened up like it's a traditional zombie movie. It's Jesse Eisenberg, Columbus by himself.
Yeah.
But they do it in such a fun way where they like break down what happened, and then they go into the fucking rules of Zombieland,
There
which
we
I
go.
think is such a good ploy because it's like. It's breaking the fourth wall that Jesse Eisenberg's character knows he's in the movie.
narrating,
He's
yeah.
narrating the movie to you. And he goes, this is how this fucking nerd who would just play World of Warcraft, drink Code Red Mountain Dew, and eat pizza has survived the
Golden
zombie-
Grams.
And Golden Grams, yeah. He had survived the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, and he's got these just rules.
Just rules.
that he
It's-
lives
yeah.
by.
Cardio.
And they're so funny and they make sense.
Yeah.
So much sense.
Like he's like, avoid bathrooms. And I'm like, yeah.
As-
You can
You
get
should-
ambushed.
yeah.
There's so many different ways to get ambushed in
Yeah.
there. With your
Bathroom-
pants down.
Because
you
you're
know?
vulnerable.
And as well, there's only usually in the bathroom only one entrance, and the entrance is the exit. So
Yeah.
if a zombie comes at you, you're done.
you
Yeah.
have
But,
to do something in order to get out.
Are some of these rules trivia questions for you, Lexi?
Yes, but
Okay.
do you have all the rules in front of you?
I do have all the rules in front of me. So
Oh, so okay.
Okay, well, technically, it's not a trivia question. It's a scene.
Oh, okay.
That's the trivia
So
question.
I want to go over some of these rules then,
yes,
because we
yes.
have to talk about it.
Yeah, I
Rule
have
number
to.
one.
Cardio.
Yeah, which,
I'm out.
that makes sense. When he was running around the parking lot in
and
a
it's
circle because he
flashing.
dropped his keys,
He's like, fuck.
and the zombie's just chasing him. But he's good at cardio, so he gets away.
Yeah, and it's just flashing, ding, ding, ding. Or it's like then he starts taking off, and the cardio is like a part of it, and a zombie runs through the cardio sign, and it like breaks apart as
Yes.
if it was actually there.
Loved it.
Fantastic. The second rule: double tap.
Yes.
When moments,
Always.
Yeah. When don't get stingy with your
And
bullets.
it's not. Wait, excuse me, real quick. This is not just for zombies. This is a PSA. In
Oh, yeah,
general,
100%.
for anything. You know what I mean?
Any movie
Yeah.
at all. Yeah.
yeah, like
any
if there's an
horror
intruder
movie.
in your house.
Don't assume that
They're
they're
dead.
dead.
Put a bullet or a knife through their fucking skull,
Yes.
and
Twice.
now you know they're dead. Yeah. which I thought is a great one because so many zombie movies.
You hear
have
that,
always been
Jamie
like,
Lee Curtis?
Oh, we need to talk about Halloween Ends, but
Yeah,
but Double Tap, yeah, and it's like because so many zombie movies are always like conserve your ammo, and I'm like, no, don't conserve your ammo if it's a zombie,
Make sure
and
they're
it's the only
fucking
way
dead.
to kill them is to do
Yeah.
the brain damage, spinal severed cord. Make sure that bitch is dead.
That's how people play Legend of Zelda, where you have all these like health potions and all these like consumables, and you're like, you never use them because you're like, I might need that.
I might need it later.
And then you beat the whole game and you never even used them.
Yeah.
Like, no, use that shit, man.
So then, rule number 3: beware of bathrooms. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Rule number 4, which I thought is kind of funny, but also they make fun of it in the movie, is
Yeah.
seatbelts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It makes sense because then he shows you why you need them.
Cars are still dangerous.
But it's also funny because they show you in the opening credits.
Yeah.
They show you that scene because he says when the little girls in your neighborhood are into vicious
Oh,
monsters,
yeah.
stop driving carpool. And they're literally hanging off the back of her van and she gets in a car accident and she goes flying through the windshield
That's how
because
she
she
dies.
didn't have her
Seatbelt
seatbelt on.
But honestly, that's a quick and easy way to go. So I'm okay with it. Then there's a couple other rules that they expanded, but they didn't really talk about them in the movie. So we're just going to do the ones that are in the movie. Then it goes all the way to rule 17. Don't be a hero.
Oh,
You
yeah.
missed one.
Did
like
I?
that one.
Oh, travel light.
Yes.
Yeah,
Travel light,
Yeah. Don't be a hero. And then one of my favorite scenes is when they see the hostess truck.
Oh my!
They see the hostess truck and it's down a hill. And then all of a sudden, Columbus starts stretching and he's rule 17, limber up.
Limber up.
No, but Woody Harrelson goes,
goes,
"Are you fucking with me?"
Yeah.
Like,
Have you ever seen a lion stretch before taking down a gazelle?
And I'm like, you know what? You make a great point.
Well, yeah.
I've never seen that, but guess what? I'm also not a fucking lion.
And then afterwards, he was like, ugh, I think I pulled something. He was like, limber up.
Limber up, yeah. And there's a bunch of other ones that don't really make sense. Like, it's not anything important besides the enjoy the little things.
One more.
What?
Number 31, which should be taken by all women seriously. Always check the back seat. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Zombie movies and for women everywhere.
But that was part of the story, too, where he adds that because he learned that from Tallahassee. He's
Yeah.
like, enjoy the little things.
And that's what I like too about it because he's like learning as he goes and he's taking his little, taking the things that get him through. And
Well-
you gotta nourish your mental health in that situation too because it's all about survival.
And they do that in this. Like they go to Hollywood and they get a star map and they go to Bill Murray's mansion.
Who's
they
Bill
do.
Murray?
And yeah,
That's one of my favorite lines because Little Rock, the youngest of the four, asked that question, and Woody Harrelson's character Tallahassee goes, "I've never hit a kid before." I mean, that's like asking who Gandhi is.
she goes, who's
Gandhi?
Gandhi? And I love how when they go to Bill Murray's house, it's this massive opulent mansion, and I think that's part of the joke too. Like Bill Murray doesn't live in a house
No,
like that.
definitely not.
It's a mansion that's absurd. It's like a palace.
Movie theater,
Yeah, it's a movie theater. He has a motorcycle, multiple cars.
Yeah, and it's just so it's golden everything. And then of course Bill Murray shows up. I just everything. Yeah,
Come across the streams.
they're watching. So Tallahassee and Little Rock.
He's on the ceiling. Worry, get on.
They're playing out Ghostbusters scenes. They're watching with those music, and he's dressed as a zombie because he thinks it's funny.
Yeah,
He's
He said it
and I
also
blend
helps him
in.
get around. Yeah, it helps him blend in. So that's the thing about warm bodies too. That's why I asked you about the scent thing because I feel like sound is their initial attraction.
yeah.
But what would stop them from eating each other?
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? So I feel like it's like a scent of
So they do
our
that in
blood
Walking
or
Dead.
something.
They do that too, where they will
cover themselves in guts.
in guts.
Yeah, to get through a big
Mhm.
crowd. So that's why I feel like it's gotta have a little something to do with it.
Just everything about Bill Murray's appearance in this movie, I feel like
10 out of 10. The
he-
wig.
it is. And he went to the I feel like he went to the director and says, "Okay, I'll be in your movie, but only if I can do this, this, and this."
Yeah,
And the
it's like-
director's like, "Yes."
Yeah, he's like,
Anything you want.
you will have 5 minutes of screen time of me. Actually, probably less.
It's more than that because the scene goes on.
No, it's not that long.
He makes
man.
several jokes and there's several.
I'm literally.
It takes him like 7 minutes to die. So
Yeah. Including death, I want to say it's probably 5 or 6 minutes of screen time for Bill Murray.
And he talks about other celebrities too. Doesn't she say something about oh, it's killed more celebrities than cocaine or something yeah. She said that he has
Bill Murray in Zombieland has 5 minutes and 13 seconds of
Wow.
screen time.
wow.
Wow. But he makes that joke about how he saw another He's like,
Van Halen.
Van Halen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw him last week. He's like,
At
oh,
the
really? How
Holiday.
is he? He's
Yeah.
a zombie. He's a zombie. It's just like so perfectly delivered. Like Bill Murray's performance is so perfect.
Because Bill Murray is Bill Murray.
Yes.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like he's not playing
He's not. Yeah.
anyone.
No.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm good.
I've never been a good practical joker.
And then when he goes into and he tries to scare Columbus. And he turns out and shoots him.
Just shoots a giant hole through his chest.
But like not for nothing. What you expect?
Bill
A zombie coming through the
has a
movie
hole
theater.
in his chest and just goes, "Is that how you say hello where you're from?"
And as he's dying, he's like, "It's okay. It's not your fault.
fault.
I've never been good at practical
Practical
jokes."
Do you have any regrets, Bill Murray?
Garfield.
Garfield, maybe.
and then the exhale, just a probably like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, but
of
not
his
just
screen
one,
time.
because then he breathes back in, and then,
And then they get sad.
Second.
He exhales, and then they get sad. And they turn away, and he goes.
And then Emma Stone starts cracking the fuck up. She's like,
Yeah.
he is a direct line to my funny bone.
But my favorite is like when Tallahassee looks at him, he goes, "Do you think you'll pull through?" And Bill Murray just turns and looks at Jesse Eisenberg. No.
You did this, bitch.
Oh man, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I watched the second movie right after the first one.
So I have yet to see the second
too.
one.
Okay.
I'm kind of nervous. Does Emma Stone look the same? Because I don't think she's ever looked hotter than in that movie.
I mean,
in
yeah,
Zombieland.
it's like 10 years later, but they all look.
She still has
I
the
mean,
dark
obviously
hair,
the little girl
bangs,
looks a lot
the
bigger.
smoky
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah. They're all
smoky
good looking
eyes.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I actually, so I watched the second movie and I thought it was like just. I enjoyed it just as much as the first, and I just thought it was just more of that. You know what I mean? Like it was
Okay.
just more of it, and they had a bunch of new kind of thing where they set up in the White House, and they secured and it was like they had all these jokes about how they kept taking presidential gifts and using them as weapons.
Oh yeah.
They're like, and they were telling each other the history of their stuff. It's like, oh yeah, this was from 1800s. The ambassador of Japan gave this to Dwight or whatever. You know, it's just, and he's just whacking zombies with it. But I would recommend the second one too. If you like the
Okay.
first one, then I would say
It just
might
shows
be
you
open
got to
the
get
second one.
creative in order to survive.
I watched the
Yeah.
second one on an airplane and fell asleep within like the first 15 minutes.
Yeah,
So
it's not like, yeah, it's not like breaking the mold. I just like those characters. Like
Okay.
I just thought they were adorable. I like the four of them together.
this movie kind
Yeah.
of re-endeared Woody Harrelson to me. Like for so long, like I just never really thought of him.
I agree, and I think they
You
did
don't
a
like Hunger
great
Games?
job. No, not
Never saw
really.
it.
Me neither.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Hell yeah!
Wow.
I've never met another one.
I saw the first one because it was a date and she wanted to, but after that, I never saw.
I just
another
know
one.
I volunteer myself as tribute, whatever the fuck she says. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
She's like,
yeah,
volunteer.
that's the thing.
That's it. But also, Jennifer Lawrence is hot as fuck.
She
Yeah,
is.
she is.
She is.
She's
That's
gorgeous. But yeah, this one kind of like put Woody Harrelson back on the map for me. And I actually think it kind of did for him too, because he ended up being in a bunch of other movies like afterwards, which
Yeah.
has been great. So
And he's
Yeah.
a great like dramatic and comedic actor.
For sure.
Like he's legit.
the
Like-
scene when you finally have him talk, because the entire time he's like, "Oh, I lost my dog. I lost my dog,"
Yeah.
and then he realized it's about his son. I was like, man, like I actually feel for that.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
was like
and because you weren't expecting that, because that was like the first like hard scene that you see besides the beginning when you think Abigail Breslin's a fucking zombie.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you're like, oh my gosh, is she really about to shoot her fucking sister, dude?
Don't kill me
Fuck.
with my own gun.
There's just so many things too that are just like Emma Stone being like, all right, can we play the fucking quiet game? Like I've just had enough. Like you, at this point, like because after a while you have to. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
yeah.
it's just a lot. You have to be overwhelmed at some point. Like the whole world that you know is ending.
Yeah.
Like you're with 4 other people on the
Yeah.
fucking planet that you know of before meeting Bill Murray. Like it's
And-
got to be a lot.
And what I liked about this is like the 4 of them find each other in the zombie apocalypse and they become a family and it's
Mhm.
like it's almost like because of the zombie apocalypse we found each other, so I'm glad it happened. You know,
Yeah.
like
Aw.
and they even do the whole
That's
traveling
cute.
thing because that's, you know, and they travel
Mhm.
together. Like you're in a car together riding across country and that's how you like all the like we're getting annoyed by each other.
when they let
we're
Abigail
laughing
Bresson
together.
drive because there's no other cars on the
Yeah.
road.
Yeah.
So they're like, let's just give her before she
Yeah.
dies. Let's just
How
let
about
her
you
drive
just
a car.
don't go above 25?
Oh my gosh, so many like jokes like that too.
It's so
like,
Oh, when they do shots in the car and he's like, one and done. That's what I always say. I said that
used to
once.
When was the last time you went toes to Jesus? Late pipe. Wallpapered the closet.
And Jesse Eisenberg was like, what?
Her name is Beverly.
Really?
Beverly Hills.
You dog.
In the back of a FedEx truck. You see those FedEx packages?
It's so good. I have nothing but great things to say about all three of these movies, but we have been during this Spooktober kind of doing like a small little segment of some other zombie movies because every single time I have watched other movies than just like the ones we watched. So you ready for this? Do you guys have any other like, just quick little shout out? Any other zombie movies that you would say for the fans at home, if you aren't that big of a zombie fan?
Yeah.
What's some other movies you can kind of get into?
I think the first several seasons of The Walking Dead are pretty great.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the Zack Snyder remake of Dawn of the Dead
It's all right.
is...
What about Shaun of the Dead?
Shaun. So I really wanted to do Shaun of the Dead, but the thing was we couldn't do Shaun of the Dead and Zombieland.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Because they're both like
They're
parodies.
both comedic ones.
Shaun of the Dead is another just amazing movie. Oh,
I have one that's not a movie, actually.
okay.
You know where I'm going with this.
All right.
It's a TV show.
Uh-huh.
It's called iZombie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the reason why I really liked it is because they give you a different kind of aspect of it. So you have this whole notion of zombies being like, brains, but in their world, that only happens by not eating brains after a while.
Yeah.
You revert to that.
Oh, okay.
That's like your final form. But if you can find a way to maintain brains, you can live a normal life and nobody will fucking know as long as you get a spray tan, basically. And the thing that I like the most about it is the girl was going to be a heart surgeon, but after she turns into a zombie, she's like, I can't be around fucking blood, and people. So she works for the morgue and she helps police solve crimes because the brains that she eats are the victims and they give you, one, their personality and two, some of their memories.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you eat their brains fresh enough, so it's really great because you see the main character, her name is Olivia Moore. So her name is Liv Moore and she's a zombie. So it's like kind of comical. They have like a zombie cure and they'll have the cure playing in the background of the song. You know what I mean? So some of it is really comical.
Yeah.
But then one day she's a frat dude. And so she's doing all these things where she's making all these jokes and blah, blah, blah. And then another time she's like a rich girl who got murdered, like a rich wife. And she comes back and she's bought all this luxurious shit. And now everyone around her is kind of like, what the fuck is up with you? Whatever. They kind of just let it go. But every episode's kind of different,
That
which
sounds
I
cool.
like.
They
It's
have an
actually really
episode
good.
where one of the victims is a D&D nerd.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so-
they do.
One of the things she does is she tries to live like that person in order to activate the memories.
Right.
So they play D&D for an episode, and I'm going to tell you, and Brando knows this, it plays true to what playing D&D is actually like. They do a good job of actually making it instead of making it like the parody that a lot of people will make D&D.
Yeah.
They actually do a good job of showing what it's like. So
Yeah.
I like it. But for me, there's a couple ones. One, I cannot speak more highly of this movie. I think it's a very fun, stylized zombie movie. It's called The Train to Busan.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that because when I typed in really well-known good zombie movies because I wanted to see what I was missing, that was one of the ones that I debated asking you about.
Yeah, so this is 2016. It's a South Korean film, and as we know,
I've heard of
this
it.
is one of the ones that kind of started the Korean movie phenomenon that we're kind of hitting now with more of the TV shows and more movies being on Netflix and streaming and stuff like that. People are actually
Is it one of those where they dub over in English or whatever language? It's in Korean and then they dub it over in English?
It's been a minute since I watched it.
No worries. It's just
I think this one's subtitled. This one is subtitled.
I would actually prefer that because I
Same.
hate seeing people's mouths move and the words not line up. It drives me
And it's
absolutely
literally the title is it. It's the zombie apocalypse happens in South Korea, and a man and his son they get on a train to Busan, which is where the cure they have a settlement there, so they're trying to get away from the zombie apocalypse. And man, it's not groundbreaking, it's not anything crazy, but it's so fun and stylized. It's a fun watch.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Another one is World of Warcraft: Wrath of the Lich King.
Oh, shut up.
The Lich King he's got a zombie army.
And then my other suggestion, and this is not a lot of people know about this one. I want to say it came out. Hold on, Quarantine. The movie's called Quarantine.
Oh, Quarantine, yeah.
Wait,
And
when
it was-
did Zombieland come out? Did we say that?
Zombieland was 2011, I think.
Okay.
So Quarantine came out in 2008.
and it was a remake of Wreck.
Yes, and then Zombieland's 2009.
2009. Oh wow.
So Terminal it's kind of like a Die Hard zombie movie because it takes place in an apartment complex. The entire thing is an apartment complex.
Yeah.
Where a reporter there, something goes on, the police and a reporter show up there, and all of a sudden, like, there's the zombie plague is in this, and they put them like in quarantine. And so it's the people inside are trying to survive in this apartment complex.
Yeah.
It's a single apartment building. And it's really well done. It's low budget, but how they do it is really good. And it's a found footage movie. So the viewpoint is from the cameraman that is filming the reporter.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
That's cool.
I mean, it's like I said, it's not like groundbreaking or anything crazy, but I think it's a very
fun.
well done one.
That's the thing. When you're getting into the genre, you know what you're getting into. Like when I sit down to watch a zombie movie, I don't want to watch a zombie.
I want to
movie.
watch a fucking zombie movie.
Yeah, that's what's fun about these monsters. These Halloween monsters, like a vampire movie, a werewolf movie, a zombie movie. It's like I like the monsters.
Yeah.
That's all I need. I don't need like necessarily groundbreaking.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think there are any zombie songs. I feel like there's songs for everything else,
so
like
there-
Cranberries.
Season of the Witch. Oh,
Cranberries.
right. Yes. How could I forget? The best Cranberry songs. Okay, so they have all of them.
There is Ryan Gosling is in a band
No.
called Dead Man's Bones,
No.
and he has a song called "My Body's a Zombie for You."
What? Are you shitting
Of course,
me?
White Zombie and Rob Zombie.
And there's White Zombie and Rob Zombie, yeah.
But he doesn't
That
sing
was
about
another reason
zombies,
why I
though.
picked this.
Yeah,
Just
so.
to pay homage to my parents. Sherry Moon and Rob. I love you. I know you're listening.
They are. They're big fans. They subscribe to our Patreon.
They do, yeah. They're huge fans.
Yes.
Well, is there any other like honorable mentions?
There
for zombie?
are.
Yeah,
I'm
but-
just not thinking of any
All
right
right.
now.
Well, you know what time it is.
It's trivia time.
Well, unfortunately, last week Brando beat me 4-2 on the werewolf trivia.
Way to go. Proud of you.
So I will be spinning the wheel of misfortune. Brando, you ready?
Wheel of Shame, go.
Here we go. I got fucking hot sauce.
That's what I got last week.
Shit. All right, we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So once again, for the hot sauce, we have the Helios Network's own Into the Spicyverse, which is a habanero-based hot sauce that I made for our Helios Network Appreciation Barbecue. So cheers.
Oh, habanero hot sauce.
Yep. Yep, okay. Anyways, Lexi, can you give us the first trivia question, please? The faster we move through this, the better, please.
Okay.
Oh, man.
All of my trivia questions
Oh.
are for Zombieland, so I hope you guys paid attention.
Oh,
That's fine.
Okay. We already said the answer in this one, but I have a bonus part 2 question.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I might need to pause this and go get another twisted tea, but we'll get
Here,
there
you can
if we
have
need
some
to.
of
We'll
this
cross
if
that bridge
you
when we
need
get there.
What does Tallahassee search for everywhere?
3, 2, 1, Twinkie.
Twinkies, yeah.
Okay. Bonus question. What does he find in the hostess truck, though?
I know.
Oh shit. What? 3, 2, 1, snowballs.
Correct.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember their name.
You-
It's not the taste, it's the texture.
I don't
I
don't like
agree,
coconut.
though.
Yeah.
I agree,
Yeah, I
though.
do too. I don't like coconut.
He
yeah.
makes a good point. And you said this earlier. When they enter the grocery store, Tallahassee plays his favorite instrument to attract the zombies. What was the instrument?
3, 2, 1, banjo.
Banjo.
Nice. Okay, cool. What does the group do after after Columbus makes the rule number 32, enjoy the little things? What's the scene?
Oh, I know.
Where they
Okay.
like really,
Yeah,
because he
yeah.
learns it from Tallahassee. Tallahassee tells him about the story or whatever. So he comes up with the rule, but then he actually uses that rule after a very
I
specific
am no
scene.
longer congested in the nose.
I knew you wouldn't be. That's awesome.
That's spicy.
Oh, I'm trying to remember that scene.
I know the scene.
You know the scene.
Yeah, it's an iconic scene.
Probably one of the best scenes.
3,
As soon as you say it, I'm
2,
gonna...
1, Brando, go.
It's going shopping.
No, they
Mm.
destroyed like the Midwestern Indian
Yeah,
shop.
yeah,
Native
like the little,
American
like,
shop.
antique
Oh,
store.
that's
Yeah.
right.
4-3. Point to me.
So when they arrive at Bill Murray's house, who does Tallahassee say this ain't so and so's house?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking
shit.
about because it's BM.
It's BM.
It is
He's
BM.
looking at the gate right when he says it.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, okay. I know.
Oh.
3,
Think about what we were.
2,
Think about me. What I was just telling you. about.
1.
It's not Bill Mayer.
No, it's Bob Marley.
Bob
It is
Marley
Marley.
is. God.
This ain't Bob Marley's house.
Yeah.
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 Which is whose house I would probably go to. When Tallahassee asks Columbus if he got the kill of the week, Columbus says no. Who actually got the kill of the week?
Oh, I know.
Do you know the name? Because I have a bonus question.
I don't know the name, but I know the scenario.
Okay, because that's a bonus question. So hold off on that one. This one I'm looking for the name.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Mary.
It's Sister Mary Margaret.
Sister Cynthia Knickerbocker.
But
Okay.
I know the scenario.
The scenario
Okay, so
is
then how did she kill the zombie for
it was
zombie of the
she
week?
pulls a chain and a piano falls down.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, as she's like hiding in the church. Yeah.
6-4.
Last question. Where is Little Rock and Wichita headed? What is the name of the place? Not
I know this one.
like the state, not the city.
I will not be having any fun with you at.
Mhm.
Oh, I know the.
Come on, Brando.
Oh, I know this.
I believe in you. It doesn't matter because I still get to win no matter what. But I'd like for you to actually get this point.
No, I mean I know it. I know it.
Can you stop stalling? My mouth is on fire. Just say it.
You know what it is.
yeah.
You almost said it. Go for it.
It's Pacific, but it starts with a P. Like it's Pacific.
I hate you. You're doing this on purpose.
No, I'm not.
You're doing this on purpose.
Because Pacific. It's not Pacific Parkway. It's like Pacific.
Oh my! Come on.
Spit it out.
3,
Phil.
2, 1.
Pacific Fun Time.
Pacific Playlands.
I was like McDonald's.
Playland.
Woo! Is it? That's it.
That's it.
That's it for the
That's what I
trivia. All right,
got.
we're done here at Banter and Such. Goodbye.
No, we're doing our outro. We'll do
So
our
the
outro.
final score is 7 to me, 4 to you, Brando.
All right.
I feel like it's only fitting that your mouth is on fire
Yeah,
and
I'm
you
so-
are
yeah.
dying during a zombie episode where
You know,
should
even
be
though
dying.
you won, I feel like I won.
Is this what you went through last week?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It
You,
was.
you actually said that you like might not be feeling well the next day. Were you fine the next day?
No, I was
after?
fine, but I did feel a little
Do you
like
want the rest
upset
of
in
it?
my
It was,
tummy.
yeah.
It was a little tummy
No,
upset.
I got like a third of a twisted tea
Okay.
left. I appreciate it though.
Well, this has been a great episode. Hugely in part 2, Bone Daddy over here.
Aw.
You are always awesome. We always have a great time when you're on the show. Where can we find you online?
Follow me on Instagram at Lexi Redding, LEXIE You'll find all some fun stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and you will see why she is our Halloween queen.
Yeah,
Thank
our
you,
gore
babies.
horror queen. And remember to check out our Instagram and Patreon and the website as well. Links are in the show notes.
Yes, and we're proud members of the Helios Network, a collection of great podcasts made by regular people.
Check out www.theheliosnetwork.com to see some of our other amazing podcasts like I'll Be Careful, You'll Be Dead, which is our Star Wars podcast.
Yes.
So, which is going to be great. We have
Brand new.
Chris, Xavier, and Lewis are all just huge Star Wars nerds.
They're in it, man.
And it's kind of like Banter and Such, where every episode is about a single thing, but it's about Star Wars.
Yes, and
And
they're
it's
getting
awesome.
into it, and they're all coming from different angles. It's so awesome. I love you all. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Banter and
Next
Such.
week, it's so sad. It's the final episode of Spooktober.
The final one.
Yeah. And we're closing it out with another iconic monster.
Oh, yeah.
None other than witches.
Ooh. All right, well, I'm Brando.
And I'm Owen.
And until next time, may your week be filled with BS.
bonus banter.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait.
So- yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what
Excuse
happened.
me,
I
put the
can't feel my
headphones
ears
Bony Banty.
back.
Bony
Okay, I'm sorry,
Banty.
I forgot I have ears.
Well-
And I don't have movement on this side of my face.
Dude, I really kind of wish we had done Day of the Dead.
The OG one?
Yeah, because it was like the sequel.
No, Night
to
of the Living. Yeah, so
Night, then Dawn, then Dead.
dead. Yeah.
And only because like Day of the Dead is the one that's like got the real zombies with real.
It's got the meat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the special effects that are just gross.
Dude,
Really?
It's crazy to think about, but like Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead is like the last of like George Romero's like good zombie movies, because then all through the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, the Romero zombie movies were not good.
Well, they were made by someone other than Romero.
Yeah, but it still had his name on it, which is the sad part.
So Return of the Living Dead
Mhm.
is not a Romero movie.